Kelty's 5'7" frame commanded the space behind the bar like she'd been born to it. She tucked her flannel shirt into a pair of worn jeans that hugged her curves in all the right places. Ample breasts, narrow waist, proportionate hips. The kind of body that made a man's hands itch to explore. But it was her eyes that got me. Big, round, and a light brown that looked almost amber under the bar lights. They held secrets. I bet my guitar on it. Her wild, curly, dark brown hair framed her face, a few strands escaping the loose ponytails she'd pulled it into for work. I couldn't help but remember our exchange of last night. Being in bed is my favorite thing, too, and I don't mean to sleep. I'd winked, and her cheeks had flushed before she raised her window and drove off. That blush had stayed with me all night. When she returned with my drink, her smile lit up her whole face, transforming her from merely beautiful to breathtaking. Her square-toed cowboy boots clicked against the hardwood floor as she set the glass in front of me. "There you go. On the house," she said, seemingly unaware of the effect she had. "Thanks," I said, feeling more parched than when I'd walked in, but not for the whiskey in my glass. "But let me start a tab, Kelty. I'm not going anywhere for a while," I said, thinking about the codicil's requirement. 365 days. Maybe being stuck here wouldn't be as bad as I thought. I picked up my guitar case and headed for the stage, feeling her eyes on me as I walked away. At least I'd have something worth looking at while I played my forced sets for the following year. For the next couple of hours, my Gibson hummed under my fingers, a familiar comfort amidst the biggest disappointment of my life. My phone buzzed again. Probably Remy, CB Rice's manager, asking for the 100th time where the hell I was, and when I get my ass over to the band's recording studio, sign the contract, and start practicing with the rest of the guys.
I should have known something was up the moment the Wheaton siblings huddled together and bolted for the door. But on the 21st of December, with the goat packed wall to wall for our early Christmas bash, I had other concerns, like keeping the bourbon flowing and making sure no one fell off the mechanical bull we'd rented for the night. Taking over my family's old bar in this small mountain ski town wasn't the career path I'd imagined after years of mixing sound for touring bands, but the money my father had promised I'd make would help with Luna's medical bills. "Another round for table 6, I told Miguel, my most reliable employee, sliding the empty glasses across the polished wood. The holiday crowd pressed in from every direction, a sea of flannel and denim, cowboy hats and boots. Through the crush, I spotted him again. Holt Wheaton, the local musician who'd been playing regular Thursday and Saturday night sets since I reopened. The man was unfairly gorgeous, with intense blue eyes and dark hair that he kept long enough to run fingers through. Not that I was looking. Not with Luna at home with Mrs. Lopez, my elderly neighbor who charged half her going rate because she adored my daughter. His voice, though. That was something else entirely. The first time I heard him sing, I nearly dropped an entire tray of drinks. There was a raw, haunting quality to it that made the hair on my arms stand up. The locals told me he was part of a famous band that toured internationally, but he never mentioned it when he showed up every week, guitar case in hand, asking if the stage was ready. "Kelty!" One of the waitresses, Jenna, I think, waved frantically from across the room. "We need more napkins!" As I ducked beneath the bar to grab a stack, my phone buzzed with a text from Mrs. Lopez, confirming Luna was asleep. I allowed myself a small breath of relief. The good nights were becoming more frequent, but I never took them for granted. I checked the time. 3 more hours before I could relieve the sitter and hold my little girl close. I hated being away from my daughter at night, but the stack of her medical bills grew faster than I could pay them down.